Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Still Lollipop and this is the 2024 Puckipuppy Boxer ST electric bike. And this is a full suspension, practical and convenient but still super fun e-bike with a top speed of around 30 miles per hour. This bike looks great, has a lot of simple and effective features to make it user friendly, and it comes in at a pretty good price point. So in this video we're going to go over everything on this bike from the unboxing and assembly process to all of the different features and parts and my thoughts on all of them, and then we'll give you an overall review of the Boxer ST and let you know if it's worth the money. And I do want to say thank you to Puckipuppy for sending this bike out to me for a review video. I do have their website linked in the description below if you want to check them out. All their bikes are named after dogs, so that's a wholesome brand image there. And if you do click that link while checking out, you can enter in the code TSPP50 to get an additional $50 off this bike, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit there. Alright, let's get into this by covering the unboxing and assembly. So overall, not a bad unboxing. This is actually one of the biggest bikes I've unboxed, so it was tricky to get the bike out of the box, and it's pretty heavy, so lifting it up was a challenge, but besides that, it went pretty well. The bike actually comes with more accessories than I've ever seen any e-bike I've reviewed come with, so that's a really nice touch. And in this image you can see everything we have. There's the basics like a kickstand, keys, pedals, rear light, charger, and all of that stuff, but you also have a nice Allen wrench set, some other wrenches, a mini bike pump, which is pretty basic but works in a pinch, extra brake pads, extra cable ties, and extra bolts. And on top of that, it has a bunch of extra accessories like a plastic water bottle cage that is size adjustable, a Puckipuppy branded metal phone mount for your handlebar that is durable and simple to use, a cable bike lock that can be attached to the bike to bring along with you, an anti-theft motion sensor alarm, which is just made out of plastic, so nothing fancy, but it has this pretty cool key to arm and disarm it, a Puckipuppy branded bike cover to protect your bike from the elements if you leave it outside, and even a bike mirror set so you can be safe while riding on the road and see your surroundings. Now, I'm not sure if Puckipuppy will include all of these with every bike purchase, but they do have a deal going on right now where all of these items are free with a bike, so that's a nice bonus that not many other companies offer for free. But besides that, assembling the bike was super simple and took some time, but I didn't run into any issues or anything while building it up, so that's pretty good there. Okay, now let's cover all of the features, starting with the price. Currently, this bike retails for $2,300 US, but most of the time it's on sale for about $1,400 US, and I've even seen it for $1,300 at times, and that's definitely not a bad price for an electric bike these days. For the parts, we're going to start off with all of the tech stuff. So this bike comes with a 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery located in the down tube of the bike here, and this is removable, so you just take your key, turn it to unlatch the battery, and then turn this little knob on the bottom to let the battery fall out. The battery has a port on the side so you can charge it off the bike like this, or you can still charge the battery while it's on the bike using the same port. One thing I will mention here is that the charger itself is very small, so it does take a while to charge. It has a fan, which is nice, so it doesn't get hot, but I do wish it was a more powerful charger. The battery is paired to a 750 watt motor with 69 newton meters of torque located in the rear wheel hub here, and that lets this bike reach a maximum speed of around 30 miles per hour in my testing, which is definitely very fast. And it has decently quick acceleration considering the weight of the bike and the bigger tires. The claimed range is 40 to 80 miles on a full charge, but of course in the real world, if you are using the throttle and going fast, that range is going to be on the lower side. But moving up now to the screen, we have a really nice display here that you turn on by holding the power button on the left controller, and that lets you see your current speed on the left, odometer, time on the bike, and the mode you are in. And on the right side, you have this super cool icon which shows you which pedal assist level you're on, and you can click the up and down arrow buttons on the controller to go from 0 pedal assist to 5, which is the highest level. And a unique feature is that your battery life is shown in the middle with this vertical orange display, which just looks cool. And the controller has this little horn button on the bottom so you can alert people or cars around you. This horn isn't the loudest I've heard, but honestly I prefer that since some of these are just way too loud. But next up, we also have the button for the front headlight on the controller, so you can click that once to turn the headlight on or off. And this light is not too bad. It looks sleek and works fine. It's totally usable in city streets, and if you do go into darker areas where there are no street lights, it still works fine, so no complaints there. And we do have this rechargeable rear tail light as well. This one is not integrated, so you do have to press the button on the side of it to turn it on. but it works fine and has a few different modes to choose from, so nothing special, but not too bad either. And finally, for the tech stuff, you also have a throttle lever on the right side of the handlebar, so you can push this down to accelerate the bike instead of pedaling, which is nice. Alright, but now let's talk mechanical components, starting with the frame and design. So this bike comes in one frame size, which fits riders from 5 foot 3 inches tall to 6 foot 4, so a wide range there. I'm 5 feet 8 inches in height and it fits me great. The frame is made out of aluminum, which keeps the weight down, and on my bathroom scale it weighs about 78 pounds, which is pretty hefty, but normal for fat tire e-bikes. And actually this one is full suspension too, so not a bad weight overall. The bike has a step-through design, which makes it easy to get on and off, and the overall design is pretty nice in my opinion. My bike is in the color light green, which I think looks great and has a more matte finish. The welds look smooth enough and the paint details here and there complement the bike well, so overall I think it looks pretty good. For features, we have a water bottle mount in the middle here, mounts for a rear rack on the seat stays here, mounts for a front rack on the head tube, and a kickstand on the side of the bike, which works well. But now let's talk about the suspension. This bike has front and rear suspension as mentioned. The front fork is unbranded but has pretty wide upper stanchions, which are black, so those look really nice. It has 130 millimeters of suspension travel, which is great for this bike and provides a comfortable ride. This fork does have a lockout on the top to make the fork fully rigid for efficiency in flat areas, which is a normal feature but worth mentioning. Now, one thing I do want to note is that my bike came with a defective front fork originally. It was super stiff and just would not budge and engage as much, so it was not comfortable at all. But I reached out to Puckipuppy and they sent me a brand new fork, which works fine now, so that would be covered under warranty if you do purchase this bike and run into some issues. The rear shock is nothing special, just a coil spring shock with 30 millimeters of travel, but it is Puckipuppy branded, which is cool, and it surprisingly does a good job providing comfort on the ride, so honestly I do like this shock for the bike. Moving on to the wheels, we have aluminum alloy rims on this bike, not much branding on here, so nothing special, but they get the job done, and these are paired to Black Cat branded tires that are 26 inches in diameter and 4 inches wide, so definitely a fat tire here. These tires are great for the road and for gravel and dirt trails since they have a good tread pattern and are pretty durable, while still providing a good amount of comfort, so these are a good choice and I like them. But now for the brakes, we have Logan branded brakes, which I haven't heard of before, but they do work fine. They're hydraulic disc brakes with 2 piston calipers and 180 millimeter wide brake rotors for the front and rear for added stopping power. The brake levers are also nice since they have a sleek yet rugged design, so overall nice brakes and they stop the bike well. And next we have the drivetrain. Pretty standard drivetrain here with a large Pro Wheel branded front crankset, and this is paired to a 7-speed Shimano freewheel in the back, which doesn't have a super wide range of gears, but it's fine for an e-bike at this price point. We also have a Shimano Tourney rear derailleur, which is on the lower end but also gets the job done at this price point. And the gear shifter on the handlebar works fine too. Nothing special, but shifts through all the gears perfectly fine. And finally, for some of these smaller parts, we have a very, very nice and comfortable seat here. You can see it's huge and has a lot of cushion, so it feels great to sit on. And additionally, it's a suspension seat, so it provides even more comfort on top of the rear shock. And then the handlebar is pretty good as well. It has a nice rise to it to give you a more upright seating position, and is definitely wide enough to give you enough control over the bike. And lastly, the grips are also nice since they have a palm rest on them, which makes them comfortable, so no complaints there. Okay, but that's it for the parts and features. Now let's bring this bike out for some testing. Alright, riding the Puckipuppy Boxer ST electric bike. So we're going to ride this bike on the road, of course, and then also on some dirt paths later, so I can show you both of those. Let me just kick it all the way to pedal assist 5 and let's see how fast this thing can go. I am going up a bit of a hill right now in this neighborhood. Already at 25 miles per hour, going uphill. Speed bump. Woo. Yeah, it's super uphill right now. 23, 22, 21, 20. So it does slow down a bit, you know, going uphill, but it's not that bad actually. 26, 27. So it does eventually make it up to 30 miles per hour. It just takes a little bit more time to get up to that speed. It's like pretty quick to 25, and then after that it takes a little bit, but it can make it up to 30. And it feels really stable and really comfortable. That's definitely one thing I want to highlight on this bike, where it has a lot of focus on comfort with the bigger fat tires that are absorbing a lot of the bumps on the road, and you have front and rear suspension, and this the really comfortable seat. So like going over that speed bump there, I stayed in my seat, and and there's no issues at all. I can just go up any curbs or anything like that, and I don't really feel it at all. With other e-bikes that are ridden, it does kick you out of the seat a little bit, even going up normal curbs and things like that. The brakes also work surprisingly well for 2-piston brakes on an 80-pound e-bike. I thought originally they weren't going to be that good, but honestly, they are super good at stopping this bike. So honestly, I gotta say, I don't really have too many complaints on this thing. I personally love the way it looks. I love the color. And for the $1,300 to $1,400 price point, that's sitting right around pretty average for fat tire e-bikes. But this one is a full suspension version of that, and those typically go for a lot more. Even though the suspension components are not very high end, I do feel the comfort compared to non-full suspension bikes, hardtail bikes. We're gonna go on a bit of a bike path here, go to a trail, so I can show you guys how it does on that, because it's actually pretty good. Not only are these fat tires more mountain bike focused with the tread on them, but with the full suspension, like, I can go super fast on any dirt road or dirt path. Getting a lot of bugs in my eyes, so I'm going to throw on some glasses. That's the only thing that's going to stop me from going much faster. It's coy. But yeah, I mean, the purpose of this bike is not to go mountain biking or on trails or anything like that. It could probably handle it. I've ridden some fat tire e-bikes on trails that I feel like would be less capable than this one. So if you want to do that, more power to you. I think it could work out. Whatever you really want to do on it, it can take roads for sure easily, rough roads, dirt paths, even mountain biking if you really want to. So I do think it's a great overall option. Maybe I hit that curb a little hard there. Of course, it's on the lower end side of forks and stuff like that, so you can't go too crazy, like I said, with mountain biking and all that. But if you go on a dirt path like this, it's going to be totally fine for that. Like a little bit of bumps here and there, it smooths it out. You're still going to feel a little bit of bumps, but it's definitely a lot better than other e-bikes out there that are not full suspension. And you get this really comfortable seat on there. So overall, I'd say for the price point, $1,300, $1,400, this is definitely worth it for that price. And if you do, unfortunately, get like a defective part or anything, just definitely reach out to them. They should be able to replace that if anything doesn't feel right. But feel free to let me know in the comment section below if you have any other issues or trouble with things like that. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I do genuinely think this is a good bike. But with that, I hope all of you have a great morning and a great day today. And remember to keep biking out there.